They say you do not take advice from people that you would not want their life. And by they, I mean a random Instagram reel. It was a random quote that I wish I would have known much sooner. Sometimes all it takes is a small ounce of wisdom to make you rethink how you live your life. My problem is that I've always been the wisest person to really crave someone wiser. When you are deemed as a child an old soul, get ready, because you're about to be called a big baby as an adult. As a kid, I was called super mature for my age, despite when I was disgruntled or said I did not like something. Then I was sensitive and acting strange. In perspective, I was handling immature adults that were relying on my own grown nature to mask they had stopped growing a long time ago. Yeah, that only made me feel so needy as I grew, which is the irony of being raised so independent for yourself and so dependent on by others. You become oddly codependent in your future chosen relationships. Nat was my first roommate, and things were going smoothly. She was fun and felt open, and at least to me, the first person I was the first person she ever came out to. She felt I had had a good heart, and I still decided to room with her, which she was afraid I would not do. The truth is, I enjoy people and have a tendency that could be dark to make a little feel like a lot. My father ran on bare minimums, which meant I had to throw a parade if he showed up, but not cry or comment on whether he was sober or mentally stable or just a good human being. Hence, when a night out became her personal jury duty against me, I was shocked. We were by the University Lake when she said, "Let's dip in." Both scholared BIPOC women, for some reason, this offense, if caught, would banish us. Moreover, despite my desire to look free and cool, I also thought it was disgusting. Dirty university lake water that either would give some form of gingivitis in my feet or take my scholarship away did not feel so cool to jump into as it did in movies, which is partially why I partially did it. I love living in moments as if God has a camcorder over my life and a film release date. I ran in and ran out. She laughed. We went for pizza, and she would tell everyone. And I said, we should tell everyone we ran in naked. And she grimaced. You do not have to impress everyone, she declared, staring across from me. I feel like you want everyone to like you. I was shook. One minute she was teaching me the magic of ranch dressing on our pizza, to then drenching me with her creamed opinions. What? I said. We had gone from laughing to being a Dr. Phil episode where apparently I was the rebellious daughter. I went in and you did not. It's cool. What? I said again. The irony of being raised to be so overwhelmingly cool headed and warm hearted is that it audibly puts you in the dumbest, most combustive situations. My soul was on trial for apparently not jumping in a lake enough and wanting people to like me. I was so confused because there was no association between what we were doing, what we had done, or what we were talking about, and her vapid assessment of my being. I was still in fun mode and tried so hard to make that the main mode of our burgeoning friendship. But apparently, she was carrying a gripe, and I was tasting a core issue to many of my future relationships. Like my childhood, I started out with great Yelp reviews, but by the time adulthood came, people were requesting the restaurant be shut down. In loving people, according to how fun and safe I could make myself to them, I inadvertently made them arrogant. If at one point Nat feared my disapproval, a few months out of the closet had turned my validation, as much as my validity, into a hanger on the floor. By the end of the night, I cried. She hugged me and said, "I did not mean to make you cry." But her Yelp review was the same. Yet my disappointment was not in her arrogance and misperception, as much as my waning innocence at realizing I had left home, but had somehow found the same people. All right, let's discuss. Let's heal. So, I mean, if there's something that we've noticed about me that I guess it's problematic, but I don't know if it's a problem, is that I really go into relationships. The grand irony is I go in with this very service mentality, trying to save, trying to be help, trying to be a really good person to prove that the other person to prove to the other person that I'm safe and that I'm going to show up for them, because that's I think that's the thing about being abandoned. You either become an abandoner and just abandon everybody as well because Lord knows that's what you know, or you become the polar opposite and you become the person that shows the F up. And I looking back on a lot of my dynamics, I chose broken people, and I chose to love them in the ways I wish I had been loved. People, I did not grow up. with a lot of affirmations, or I grew up very criticized, very strict. So I try to be free, and I try to be very affirmational. And that was something that I had shared with Nat, like this kind of, she was very nervous that coming out to me. I was the first person she ever came out to. She thought I would banish her from my life, and I didn't. I had I thought college, and you could see it there, and being my first time away from home. I had so much hope that it would be, and I might even cry, it would be only fun, only lighthearted, and I could finally be in a space and place where everyone sees how good I am inside, how much I love, and thus I will only be loved. There will be no more judgments. There will be no more calling me out of my name or out of my character. It's all over. Now it's just good young people being good and young. And her family wasn't that accepting, and she cried with me and she shared with me, and it's again another mistake we have witnessed in a lot of my relationships, of just thinking, trauma bonds are the same thing as love. If they tell you their trauma, they love you. And I thought everything was going well. I had my suspicions of, she was kind of, there was this third wheel friend who kind of wedged in. I think they were having a more romantic relationship, unbeknownst to me. But either way, that friend was very poisonous. She had the tendency to kind of like, if you were a trio, she would intervene and try to become best friends with one of the best friends, right? Just a weird, she was like a friendship pick me. And maybe I should put that, a friendship pick me. Um, and I know I noticed as they became friendlier, Nat became darker with me, but either way, you have a choice. And I guess I thought, I it's not just that I think trauma bonding equates love. I think it equates loyalty. I think that in my head, you would be more respectful and kinder and honoring to somebody who has seen your pain, and not only they did not judge you for having that pain, they held you through it, and they try to make you feel better from it. And I really did that. And then I think it was just, when you're 20 and an asshole, I can't say that I've had the same experience, but it's when you're finally being the safest, most freest version of you. If you don't watch out, you're going to think you're freedom incarnate. And it's something that I worry about with daddy recovery as I grow and my opinions change, and just these moments of kind of, I'm having more and more epiphanies. And, but I must approach with honesty. Um, I think there was an element of that. And it's something, I remembered this because a few weeks ago, I kind of ended a friendship because of, for the dumbest reason. This person was going out with a new person, and she really wants them to be the one. And uh, I said, "Oh my god, you guys are falling in love! Oh, how romantic!" And she was like, "You better shut the f up and cut that ish out." And I was floored, because kind of like what happened with Nat, and this is why I said this was one of the first biggest instances of something that's going to repeat. It was the biggest reaction to the dumbest thing, and it was the biggest negative reaction to something so lighthearted, so silly, so like it was just ridiculous. And I'm used to that. I'm used to small things becoming huge battles, and huge battles being ignored, right? Like my dad's addiction. I and I don't want that anymore, because one of the things I've realized, I've never had a relationship in my life, which is might be why I'm getting a giant scissor and cutting things, cutting people. I've never had a relationship in my life where I didn't end up scolded and I didn't end up with somebody yelling at me. And I don't, that's a part of my nature that only comes out if you really piss me off. And I don't like to be angry. I was scolded when I was angry, and my nature was not to be it either. So it was this double whammy of like, I'm not an angry person, but as a human being, there will be moments where I experience anger. And when I did, I got so scolded for it that I think I almost die inside when I feel anger. And it's something I've been thinking about a lot. If you look at a lot of my relationships, they either left me and I was like totally like ego death, like, how dare you leave me, you loser? Or I left and they're like, what happened? You don't want to take care of me anymore? Like it's either 50-50. Um, and I just, so that friend had that reaction, and immediately I was just disgusted by them. And it's really hard to say that. Um, No, it's not actually. I'm lying. That's not true. It's easy to say that. It's just I'm shocked that I'm saying it, to be honest, because I don't allow myself to be disgusted by people, and yet I let myself look disgusting or be told I'm disgusting, which is what happened with Nat. It was this moment, and right there the friendship died. It was never the same. By the end of the year, we were done. She went off to, fall in love with half a women's basketball team, and um I I just, it was, I think what made it a bigger deal was that she thought she was so right. And she was so forceful and overwhelming with you. You want to impress everybody. It's okay to not be impressive. Like basically I'm the queen of authenticity because now I'm owning my sexuality, right? But the flip side of that was I I kind of thought I was escaping that. I thought I was leaving that. The misconceptions and the misperceptions and the kind of, when you're a child you're an old soul, when you're an adult you're a big baby, that kind of that reversing of character. When you need me, I'm the best person. When I need you, I'm a needy bish. And it was so sad because at that time too, what, we're like 1920, so I took it, there were two things playing. I had not yet realized that I need boundaries, that somebody could tell me who they think I am and be totally wrong, and that somebody could be even somebody that I'm caring about or think I will care about. I can fight back and say, go F yourself. Just because you came out of the closet doesn't mean you could toss me like a hanger. Like there's different. I I grew up in a place where I was always wrong, or I was always something off. Oh, you have a way of seeing things. You lie, like liars calling me a liar. People with bad memories saying I have no memory. Like that kind of, stupid people telling me I'm dumb. That kind of dynamic. And it made me super sensitive because I was riding this honeymoon wave of I like everybody, everybody likes me, and here comes the person that I'm closest with, a potential bestie, to give me a reality check that wasn't necessary and wasn't even true. And what makes me unsafe is, and it's something that I've realized in a lot of my relationships, I do get loved bombed. And I do get, a few weeks of being treated like pure princess mode. And then the hammer comes because I guess my narcissistic counterpart is trying to see how much they need to fake love me to continue getting my genuine empathy. And I I just it's so weird because I compared it with a friend that I kind of ended the relationship a few weeks ago. It's this weird thing of this jackhammer just drops. And it's not like you don't see potential red flags. She could be, I'm used to nippy, bitey people. And she was a little bitey. And the friend that I ended the relationship with last week was bitey too. But it's like they use me to be lighthearted. And then they suddenly become really, really dark and really overwhelmingly stupid, thinking they're being smart. And the expectation that I'll stay lighthearted, I just can't do that anymore. I can't be the most lighthearted person to be heartbroken anymore. And I was thinking about that event. For some reason, it came into my head and I just started writing. Because even I went in and you did not. I mean, I went in like in my knees. She dunked. She did dink. What is it? But it was this weird. I think what alarmed me is that you're carrying this, and I think we're okay. I think we're perfectly fine. And I am the type of person, and I've said it before, I don't get vulnerable unless I think the relationship is going to go somewhere. I'm opening up because I think we're going to be friends. The problem is, I think everybody's going to be my friend. I'm giving my heart to you because I think we're going to be in love. The problem is, I think everybody's going to be in love. Like, damn, hold it back, sister. And it was really ultimately disappointing. It was disappointing. It broke my heart for both reasons. Because I realized how unsafe I was. And I don't think I've learned, even until recently, that God, safety, you got to be safe with you. And that type of safety comes in the form of boundaries, in the form of pushing back, in the form of saying whether or not they are speaking the truth about you to you, they just don't matter. They don't matter more than you do to you and how you see yourself. So check out daddyrecovery.com. Check out deandrewreviewsitall.com and check out Hardin on all music platforms.